I'm gonna make myself comfortable and read like my dad is a powerful wizard. Dark Academia. I don't know why I did that. Hey guys, this video I'm going to be living and reading Dark Academia books. Starting with this outfit. This is the most Dark Academia outfit that I could think of at the moment. How do you like? Studious Owl Library. I think it's very Dark Academia-esque. And whenever you see Dark Academia, I feel like you always see the yesteryear's stuff. You never see laptops. You always see quills and papers. So I'm gonna try my best to go back into the yesteryears and live in those kinds of times. Starting with, ta-da! This is a vinyl record player that I bought. That's very Dark Academia-esque because they use old record players. They don't have iPods or their phones to listen to their music. No, they're listening to old-timey things on old-timey stuff. Let's open this up and let's get started on our Dark Academia reading. Because I haven't used it yet, I'm actually literally taking it out of the box right now. It's not like I recommend this particular vinyl record player. However, I will leave a link for it below if you guys are interested, at least in the aesthetic of this. Ooh, you have to be very careful with this stuff. It's so sensitive. Wow. It's so nice and wooden and beautiful. Oh my gosh. This, by the way, is my vinyl record player holder furniture thingamabob. Wow. I do collect vinyl records, so I do have some. Currently storing it in a different place right now in the house, so I'm just gonna bring that over. Oh, okay. Let me bring some records over and then we can test it out. So while the majority of my records are pretty older and classic like Bach or Mozart, I do have newer ones like Ariana Grande, very, very modern. And maybe in between, like from the 80s, because I really like 80s music as well. So I have like Tears for Fears. Let's test one out. Let's try Mozart and see how it sounds on this. Oh, she's naked. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, I am ecstatic. That sounds so cool and so good. If there are any audio or vinyl record player junkies out there that does not approve of this, please keep it to yourself. I know, I bought a cheap one. Don't know much about vinyl record players. Have mercy on me. It's time for our first pick for our first book. And that is none other than Babel. Everyone thinks that her writing is genius, and I want to find out for myself too. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to get my butt to read this book because it is a thickie, you guys. And like the words on here are not big. It's super small. Oh my gosh, it's so thick. How many pages is this? 542 pages. Holy. If this book sets me up for failure, you might not get a video, you guys. No, I'm just kidding. So it looks like a boy named Robin Swift is brought from Canton to London, where he is enrolled in an Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation called Babel. He basically has to translate a bunch of stuff. It looks like there's an organization that tries to recruit Robin into doing what's opposite of what the whole institution of Babel is trying to do. So I guess he finds himself in a situation where it means that if he is serving Babel, that means he's betraying his motherland. So that's the gist of it. That's gotta be hard. Let's listen to this beautiful music while we read this book. This book is so ridiculously researched. I'm learning so much about etymology. I feel like I'm studying the origin of different words. And then she adds in the cultural stuff. The point of Babel is to learn how to connect and translate different languages and put them into these things called the silver bars, which are kind of used as currency in this world. It's like a magic bar. It can be used for whatever you really need to do as long as you have the right translation. You can power a car. You can make a place more cozy. You can cure an illness. It's so versatile, and the only people who can inscribe and power those silver bars are the people like Robin Swift. But then he runs into someone who sees the injustice in how these bars are being dispersed because it's so expensive and only the rich can really afford it. He feels like he needs to help the rest of the world be able to utilize these bars, but then that also means he's sacrificing himself in order to help the greater good. It's difficult as a human being if you have nothing but this institute for you to sustain your life and live a good quality life, but then would you be willing to give that up for the greater good? And she's just so good at writing this. I am almost halfway through. I'm gonna call it a night and then I will see you tomorrow. I'm trying to do another Dark Academia look, but I feel like I'm channeling Blair Waldorf. So today, to keep on with our Dark Academia theme, I thought I would do some calligraphy. But I have a feeling the ink is dried up. And I bought this calligraphy paper so that I could first practice on this until I feel confident enough to move over to my reading journal. I think I'm gonna put like October reads on this page. That'll be my Dark Academia-esque theme for today. Oh darn, I really think it's gonna be dry. Oh. No, it's fine. Okay, great. So I also bought a modern calligraphy book so that it could teach me how to write properly with the calligraphy pen. Plus, this has lines on it, which hopefully it'll help me. How does that look? That's not terrible. That's actually not quite bad. I think I might use it. Let's add it to the reading journal. I'm nervous, it's permanent. I hope it doesn't bleed through. What do you think? Obviously you can tell that the lines really do help because that C is really bothering me. But otherwise I think it's pretty okay, right? Hey, it didn't bleed onto the next page, so it's good. Also, I brought this little typewriter. I think it's also very Dark Academia-esque because it is a typewriter. For now, I just put my lip stuff in here. Let's get back to reading. I read a little bit more and a little bit more than halfway through now. There's lots of trouble coming through this way. Ah! Okay, well I can't get the fireplace to light, so I'm gonna have to set up with this candle. And that'll be my Dark Academia theme for today. It's still pretty Dark Academia-esque. I finished Babel this morning, so good afternoon. I have to say, before I started this book, I was really intimidated. Seems like it'll be a lot of work to get through, but it actually wasn't. It was actually quite intriguing. It was fun. But I think if this has a Harry Potter level of budget, then I think it would make a really great film. Granted, that's a big budget, so of course it has to be a good film, but it just has the makings for a good film. Even like the little ball that they went to, I was imagining the Goblet of Fire. I was shocked. Was not expecting some of the stuff that was happening. But it was so interesting. I understand why people think R.F. Kuang is such a genius. And it's just an impressive book. 4.75 maybe. For one thing, don't like the type of ending. And then also another thing, because there was so much history and a lot of footnotes, I could kind of get myself dragged out of the story a little bit. But I still really enjoyed this book. On another note, what do you think of my outfit today? It is another sweater vest on top of a shirt. My interpretation of Dark Academia outfits are like pretty much just being sweater vest over whatever. What are we reading next for our Dark Academia theme here? That is none other than a new book that I purchased for this video. Black scissors. Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valentini. Oh, this seems like an easy read. That is wonderful. Look at the double-spaced. Love that. A lot less serious than Babel, so that's kind of what I'm needing because this book was so heavy, so now I want something a little bit light, but it has to be Dark Academia, right? So this is kind of what I was thinking would help me relieve this whole Babel world. Oh, she's Fae. She needs to prove that she's the most supernatural in the whole of Solaria, and she is the daughter of a savage king. There is a drill-worthy dragon shifter who has his eyes on her throne. Him and his 3 psycho friends are determined to make her time terrible. That sounds interesting. I heard it was either like you really like this book or you don't like this book, and it's also very childish. I'm hoping that I find it entertaining at least. It could be a bad, good book, you know? So yeah, let's start reading this. Look how pretty that is. Let's go! I'm gonna make myself comfortable and read like my dad is a powerful wizard. Just about 100 pages in with Zodiac Academy, and it is pretty fun so far. I had the correct expectations for this book in all of its ridiculousness. So we have 2 female main characters, and they're twins. Their parents passed away when they were young, and they were raised by mortals. So we have almost a Harry Potter situation kind of thing going on where they didn't know that they had magical abilities. And one day a Hagrid-like person comes to fetch them from the mortal world and bring them to the world of Solaria, where they realize that they were daughters of the former king and queen. But since they've passed away, the power for that whole world has been separated into 4 different families, and the heirs to those families are all 4 boys who also attend Zodiac Academy and are threatened pretty much by them. But of course, they're ridiculously hot and they hate them, but they find them attractive. And like Harry Potter, the school is separated into 4 different houses, but it's separated by elements. So basically it would be air, fire, water, and earth. And those houses are pretty much all run by those 4 different boys, the heirs. So far, it's pretty fun to read. It's ridiculous in like, why is one of the boys licking her cheek to say hello? Like, who licks the cheek? But it's ridiculous and it's so funny. Like some bad reality television, it's also so entertaining to watch that it's good. But I'm not saying it's bad just yet. I'm saying it's ridiculous so far, but in a good way. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself and let's keep reading. Okay, I understand why he licked her cheek, but still weird. Hello! It's 2 days later and I am almost done with Zodiac Academy. Also, how do you you can't really see my outfit, but I'm kind of going for the grandpa dark academic look today. I am really liking Zodiac Academy. I can see how people think it's juvenile a little bit-esque, but I'm enjoying it. I don't mind it. I mean, sure, there are stuff like Faybook, which is the equivalent of Facebook, which is kind of like, can you at least think of a different name for it so that it doesn't kind of take me out of the story? And then of course the plot, you can kind of see how it's a little bit juvenile, but I can look past that. Maybe it's because of my low expectations, or it's just the thing I needed after a serious book like Babel, but it's so entertaining. So right now I'm on the way to return a router to the internet service provider that we have. We switched internet service providers so much faster now that we switched. Thank goodness. So just gonna have to return it and then I can go home and finish the rest of the book, which I really don't have that much left. So I'll be giving you a star rating soon. I'm back home now. The return was a success and I made myself a corn dog and I have some milk. I'm gonna have this snack while I finish the rest of this book. Let's get to reading. Finish the book. 4.75 stars. Why not a 5 stars? Because there were a couple of plot holes that I saw and also the Faybook stuff and because of a little bit of the juvenile stuff in there. But this was so entertaining! Except, isn't there like 12 books in this series? Oh yes. This is the first out of 12 books. Oh my goodness gracious. Am I gonna read all 12? Who knows? So for our next book, I was debating between 2, but I think I decided on A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. She's really strong and tries to take care of everything herself, and there's one guy who seems to have it all and he is really liked everywhere, and I guess they're all just trying to graduate. But for some reason I'm also kind of getting like the Fourth Wing vibes where like they have to survive in order to graduate. Let's get started. I decided I want to be in bed. Wingardium Leviosa. I probably didn't say that right. I am pretty much Hermione today. I guess that's my Dark Academia thing for today. Which really, I only have this one, which I got very long time ago. Or Moon got for me when we were on a date at Universal Studios. This is from Universal Studios and this scarf is from Universal Studios. Yes, it is the Hogwarts scarf. But as you can see, I promptly fell asleep. I couldn't get into A Deadly Education, unfortunately. It was just not what I was looking for. I think because I was reading the Zodiac Academy, it got me in the romance mood and this just did not have, or it was too late to start the romance. So unfortunately I gave up on that. But I did start a different book and I'm already 30% of the way through, and that is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I wanted to start right away. It wasn't available at my local Barnes & Noble, so I actually took the leap and downloaded it on Kindle app. I don't have a Kindle and I am reading it on the app on my iPad. I have the free trial for Kindle Unlimited. I'm gonna try it and see how I like it. If I like it, then maybe I'll purchase a Kindle. Like I said, for now I am 31% of the way through. I'm on chapter 24. This book is pretty much Love Hypothesis, but make it dark. But in this book, she's straight up taking his class. He is her actual professor. And they're in a small little island where this Ivy League school is called Arcadia. So basically the premise is that her mom has passed away from this worm-ridden disease that no one seems to know anything about. And writing an essay on that, it qualifies her to get her into this prestigious school, Arcadia. And he is the PI on this. He's the primary researcher on this. And he knows more about it than anybody else. And so she gets accepted into this university to study about this too, and that's also why she's in his class. There's supposed to be love that blooms. I haven't seen it yet, but you can see that there's gonna be some kind of Yeah, it is for sure gonna be super spicy, and I just love how I'm just going up in spiciness level from each book in this video. It is pretty grotesque in the beginning because of all the explanations of the different organisms that they talk about, and because it's kind of medically heavy a little bit in the beginning. I skipped over that. I don't like that stuff. It's really grosses me out. I just kind of, you know, when you kind of can eye scan it through past it. That's pretty much what I did. I had to kind of skip past it because I cannot deal with that. Let us start. Let's get to reading. What magical spell would be appropriate? I don't know. Lumio? My eyes are starting to hurt. It's getting so tired. I'm wondering if me reading from a Kindle would avoid these, or at least let my eyes live longer to read. Back to reading. Take a deep breath, left to right, no. Hello everyone, it is the next day and I am now 76% into this book. Very, very gross. But the romance is romancing, so that part I like. Also, this is my outfit, my Dark Academia outfit for today because it is preppy and then it's just dark. I'd also like to mention that they have now broken the teacher-student barrier. Can't go back now. Alright, let's finish this book. I was pretty impressed by how everything was connected together that I didn't know were connected together. But again, the grossness part of it did not no. Overall, I would rate this a 3.75 stars, but like a good 3.75 stars because the plot had its good moments. I just wouldn't read this book again. By the way, I said earlier that this is like a dark version of Love Hypothesis. I don't recommend that you read this if you get queasy easily by the grossness of bugs and diseases and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna have to find another professor-student thing besides this one to compare with Love Hypothesis. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun watching and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!